Bienvenidos y bienvenidas a la Zumpuliche Interview con Jhon Jatenjor.
Bien, para arrancarlo, muy buenos días allá en Bangkok.
Buenos días.
Buenas noches acá.
Sí,
Mucho gusto. Me llamo Katrina.
muy bien.
Hablo un poco español porque vivía en México por 2 años.
Wow.
Entonces,
Oh, y aquí ya César no está, tenemos un amigo mexicano. We had a Mexican friend, but he's not here. Oh, too bad, César.
Bueno, Caterina, para arrancar esta magnífica entrevista, sabemos de que los dobles, sí, de riesgo para las películas de acción siempre tienen sus técnicas. Y la pregunta más certera es de algunas acrobacias, de ciertos combates, ¿cuáles son las más difíciles de afrontar? Que de pronto en el cine uno diga, esto es sencillo, pero no, esto tiene su resultado como técnico.
Okay, Katrina, as a stunt coordinator, looking back to all your work in this area, how can you describe or how can you tell us what are the most difficult scenes to record and making believe to the audience that, oh, that treat is very easy, and it's not very easy because it's a form of art and it's a form of very risky work.
Oh yeah, so in my previous movies, when I did action scenes, the stunts itself, they're not as difficult, but the thing is you have to practice it and you have to learn the choreography. It's like a dance basically. So yeah, of course there are some more difficult stunts than the others, so you have different levels of action, but everything is possible to learn. But the only question is the time, which you don't always have, depends on the movie and the budget. But you always have to train also on set or off the set to remember the choreography, because when you shoot, you just, usually when you shoot and you do certain angle, you repeat it more times. So it's definitely physically demanding, but depends on the choreography, of course. Like when it's something very difficult or more dangerous, they usually use professional stuntmen. You need professionals. But when you do like part of the acting, then usually you can do it yourself. Like if it's just the punching kicks or some choreography, So yeah.
Okay, I will translate. Thank you. Jhon dice que depende de las coreografías que se requieran o de las stone moves que se requieran en las cintas. O sea, generalmente todo es como una danza, y hay escenas que pues son fáciles, que es por ejemplo un golpe, un slap, pero las películas que son más complejas requieren de muchas tomas y muchos ángulos. Entonces por eso se tiene que recurrir a un equipo de stunt coordinators, de coordinadores de dobles de acción. Y pues ella, Katrina, ha trabajado, digamos, en proyectos donde no se requieren muchas, a donde sí se requieren, digamos, coreografías o escenas mucho, mucho más complejas. Entonces todo depende de un gran trabajo de equipo, pero todo se define como una danza, es como una coreografía que te tienes que aprender.
Wow, eso es una muy buena respuesta. También hay un filme en el que, bueno, tuvo ella un rol en el que tuvo una esencia que es sobre Brice 3, ¿sí? Donde ella realizó Brice Cassius. Y me gustaría saber cómo fue el trato que recibió ella ante, bueno, lo que es una tercera parte. ¿Qué cambió durante ese proceso hasta llegar ahí?
Y acá te robo algo porque quería hacerle con tu pregunta otra pregunta sobre esa película. ¿Vale? Okay, Katrina, we are going to talk about a very famous movie. Your participation in Brice 3 or Brice 3. Brice 3, you know that this is a movie that got very famous in France, in all the world. I
Yeah.
remember, I remember even an ex-girlfriend of mine that really loved Brice, really, really.
You watched it? Yeah.
Yeah, she watched it. The three. Even I told with her that I'm going to talk with an actress of Brice 3. Oh yeah, cool. Because the thing that Jones wants to know is uh, how do you not feel, but how does it feel working in the third part on a franchise, knowing that you're going to enter in a franchise that is really established. They got their actors, I don't know, they teamwork, and you're going to enter in a third part. And I want to ask you also, how was how was it working with Jhon Jatenjor? I mean, he's an Oscar winner, but he's an first of all, he's a comedian. O sea, he continued doing his type of movies, and some people criticize it, but I think that he's great that he continued doing his comedies, the Brice roles. So tell us, how was the experience working in Brice and with Jhon Jatenjor?
Yeah, I mean, it was great. He was also a producer of this movie, and in the same time, main actor. And it was awesome because it was also everything what you saw in the movie. It was recreated, like it was a special set made just for the movie. So everything in yellow. So it was shot on the beach, and it was just incredible. Like everything what you saw, literally, we were living in it for the duration of the shooting, and so it was so real to live in that yellow kind of world, and it was very interesting in the same time. And yeah, so playing the girlfriend of the Brice, it was fun, of course. Like we had a lot of fun during the shooting, and there were a lot of scenes. Like at the end, it was like edited quite a lot, but we shot so much, and it was basically one big party for a few weeks. So it was really fun. And Jhon, amazing, of course, not only as an actor but also as a person. So it was very friendly, and it was great shooting Brice. Yeah.
Ok. Bueno, John, vas a flipar porque todo lo que ves en Brice, todo es construido especialmente para esa película. O sea, esa onda amarilla, esos sets. Digamos, bueno, el cine francés, las comedias francesas tienden a ser a veces muy caricaturescas, entonces construyen todo, ¿no? O sea, ¿sabes? Asterix. Entonces en Brice todo está construido y pues, para Katrina fue muy divertido. Bueno, ella interpreta a la novia de Brice. Y pues entrar, digamos, es como que ella dice que es como fue un retiro de unas semanas a ese mundo. O sea, se fueron a ese mundo de lo que es todo ese universo de Brice. Le pregunto también cómo era trabajar con Jhon Jatenjor. Jhon Jatenjor, fue el productor, no solo es el protagonista, sino el productor. Dice que es una gran persona, no solo un gran actor, sino una gran persona. Que fue genial. O sea, aquí lo bacano, como decimos en Colombia, es entender que en esta producción se manejan, digamos, ya otros niveles, la redundancia de producción, ¿no? De construcción de sets, del universo de Brice, porque pues, como bien lo sabes, ¿no? Es una trilogía que salió de Francia, es muy conocida, de hecho.
Eso es muy, muy bueno. También hay un tema bueno, saltando de Francia al tema del continente asiático, en la última misión, parte 12, ella actuó con el actor Dan Chupon, ¿sí? Y ella hizo el papel de Jenny. Entonces, eso ha generado como que cambie un poco ese filme en algo distinto a como se veían en las demás producciones, ¿no? Que eran tipo combate, pero esta vez como la esencia es esa estética que tratan de cuidar. O sea, que ella que ha aprendido a lo largo de los años que está en el cine de Asia, que ella pudo notar grandes cambios, no solo en la película, sino en lo que ha podido protagonizar o actuar.
Es más, está muy buena tu pregunta y la voy a replantear desde lo que es esta cinta. Tengo entendido, sí, ya la entendí, pero bueno. Okay, Katrina. Now we're going to talk about your work in the last assignment. The last assignment.
Mhm.
Help me. This is a movie from which country?
It's actually, that's very interesting. So basically, it's a Hmong movie.
Whoa.
Hmong movie, and it's basically how can I say it correctly? It's a language, Hmong language, and they have Hmong people are living all around the world, mostly in China, Laos. If I'm correct, in China, Laos, and there's a huge Hmong community also in USA. So they don't have a country, but they have their own language, which is kind of mix of Chinese, Thai, and so it's basically there are millions of people, Hmong people that speak Hmong language. So there is this director Yang Taher, and he makes movies in Hmong language for Hmong people.
So it's a nomad movie.
It's a sorry.
It's like a nomad movie.
Yes, no land movie, but it's a language because it's a language that they don't have their own country, but they have their own language. And I don't want to say it wrong, but I think better if you Google it and look it out. But basically, it's a Hmong community, and he's one of them. Like he speaks Hmong language, and he makes movies in Hmong language. And so basically, he two of these movies. I had the main role alongside him. He's a director, an actor, and producer. So I did 2 movies with him for Hmong people. So it was very, it's very big in US. They had a premiere, and I think he's the only one who actually makes movies in their own language. So it was great. It was amazing to become a part of their culture, and he keeps their culture and the language live through movies. And so I really admire that.
Yeah, wow. Because I was going to ask you, and I'm stunned because I don't know that cultural issue that really amazed me. How was not the production values, but the way to do a movie, and how they produce a movie with that cultural issue? With I don't know. For me, this is like learning something new. So tell us, how does a movie is made? Please tell us.
Yeah, so they really like action movies. So both of them were action, but in the same time, the stories were very traditional. Like, for example, one of them was he likes to, basically the director, Yenka, he likes to take their traditional stories and the legends, and he recreates them in a modern era in kind of in action way. So first one I was agent, in the other one I was police, but it's almost like a action movie / legend kind of thing, and it's very entertaining. I mean, the whole movie is in the Hmong language, except the parts that are interacting with me and other foreign actors. There was also very famous. There is also very famous actor Ron Smorenborg. He does action and stunts, and so for some reason we became part of their culture now. Like, and it's very interesting to see their kind of legends and / being in a modern times action way. It's interesting. It's something new.
Yeah, and I was googling. Before I translate, because we got the honor to interview back in some days a Laotian director, a director from Laos, and yes, we had. I'm searching his name, but espera, John, recuérdame el nombre del director de Laos. Elephant Stone. JJ Stone. Yeah. We had the honor to interview JJ Stone, direct the bit production from Laos. And it's great to know that some cultures that are really, really known are doing great action movies and showing action movies with their legends. Okay, I will translate, sorry. I was so excited. No, es que John, vas a ultra flipar porque esto resulta que esta cinta, pues yo le pregunté al principio sobre el lugar donde se realizó, ¿no? Por el título. O sea, es que es una cinta que se hizo con, no sabría traducirlo en español, pero es la cultura no mongol, Hmong. O sea, esta cinta, ellos no tienen una nación, por así decirlo, están distribuidos en China, creo que en Laos, y ellos, o sea, el director actor, Jhon Jatenjor, que es también el protagonista, esto, junto con Katrina, que hace de policía, ellos hacen una mezcla de leyendas propias de esta cultura con acción como tal. Pero es muy interesante porque, digamos, este nicho de personas están distribuidos por todo el mundo. Y pues yo le pregunté, bueno, le hice tu pregunta, bueno, ¿y cómo era trabajar? Pues, ¿cómo son los valores de producción? Dicen que no, que a ellos les fascina muchísimo, muchísimo la acción, pero contando sus leyendas. Y que, pues, Katrina tuvo la suerte de trabajar 2 veces, no solo aquí interpretando a una policía, sino una película previamente interpreta a un agente. O sea, y que en esa película también hay miembros del equipo. Por ejemplo, Angus Heard es tú sabes que Angus Heard es muy conocido. Él también es el coordinador de Stones y él hace parte de esa cultura. O sea, me recordó mucho a lo que estaba haciendo J.J. Stone con la cultura de Laos.
Eso sí no lo sabía, eso es algo muy interesante. Ahí, en eso yo estoy como que tratando de asimilar, porque la pregunta también que voy a plantear es muy, muy bueno y es la de Brutal. Ella interpreta a Ana, créame que como una película de tal calibre en el que la acción no es un gore, en el que la gente le genere repugnancia, sino le genere más bien como que ¿qué va a pasar? Que esa curiosidad. Y además, ella trabajar con Asami, que es conocida en Zambiki no Dorai. ¿Qué? O sea, que ella trabajando con Asami, ¿cómo fue esa conexión? Y más, ¿cómo fue? ¿Qué secretos, curiosidades nos puede contar sobre Brutal, esa película? Dígale que es una de mis favoritas.
Okay, I am envious with John because he has watched Brutal. I wanna watch Brutal because I love Japanese movies and this type of Japanese movies. So, as John, as an spectator of that movie, he wants to know how was working first with Asami, that is kinda of a celebrity of his own, Robo Gage, all these movies, but also in working in that type of not gore, that type of action cinema that some people can think, oh, it's very harsh, but no, really got some aesthetics, some way of, because I got a lot of action cinema, so I want to review it. But tell us.
When I so that's a good this is a good story. So basically, I met Takashi Hirose when he came to Thailand, and we did together a short film about this the legend. Also, it was a very nice story about legend. And then he was like he was already in process of preparing this movie, this horror film in Japan, and also the actor, he's quite famous in Japan, but his style is like really brutal. That's why the movie is called Brutal. And and he's like, would you be interested to come to Japan? I was like, yeah. And then even though like my role is not the main role in it, but he says he really wanted to have like foreigner being killed and all that. And I was like, I had no idea what are we gonna do, how is it gonna be. But so I went to Japan, and then and we shot it there, and it was like really, it was really very, 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 I would say, bloody and brutal. That's why the movie is called Brutal. And also all the scenes, he has a very special style. Like if you see he has one short film on YouTube, Takashi Hirose, and that's really like he likes kind of like a love stories, but so twisted, like so bloody and so dark, but in the same time he can draw you with all that brutality into his story, and then you feel for them. And then he also, this story Brutal is like, it's serial killer who is misunderstood, and he just wants to be understood. And so if it's all in Japanese, except like, of course, again, my part, but it's so interesting to be part of movies that are so different. And also filmmakers from all around the world, they all have different style, but there's something in common. Like you always find some common language. And in this case, it's basically, let's say, the love story, but from another point of view. Even though it's a serial killer, like the way they say these stories, the storytelling is so interesting. And it doesn't matter if it's action, horror, or anything. Like you can work with anybody from all around the world. You always find through filmmaking the common language.
I think in Japanese they call this type of stories gurotesoku. But guro is grotesque, but grotesque and beautiful. Guro.
Very, very gore. Yes, gore.
But we call it guro.
Yeah.
Okay, I will translate. Bueno, John, vas a flipar porque ella había trabajado previamente con Hiroshi, el director, tú sabes, en Return de Golden Lily, un cortometraje. Cuando hizo ese cortometraje, Hiroshi le preguntó, bueno, ¿quieres ir a Japón? Porque voy a grabar en Japón mi largometraje. Pues Katrina dijo, wow, claro, quiero ir a Japón. Lo interesante, bueno, y eso lo sabes muy bien, tú que la viste, y por eso te envidio, que se puede definir como una historia de amor retorcida. Realmente no es una historia de gore, es de un asesino que es incomprendido y desea ser comprendido. Y por eso lo que a Katrina le interesa más es saber que, bueno, a lo largo de su carrera ella ha viajado a distintos países y ha conocido las distintas formas de contar historias de directores de todo el mundo, pero que todos tienen algo en común, digamos que es como su creatividad y su amor al cine, ¿no? Bueno, creo que ahí resume absolutamente todo, porque quedé speechless, quedé sin palabras. Pero creo que tú que viste el Doodle ya se respondió tu pregunta.
Vale, también está la de Future Sexm. Eso sí es algo que ella debe revelar sobre qué contrastes positivos y negativos pudo diferenciar ante, la historia, porque la historia para mí es interesante, pero a la vez como uno debe como encontrar esas fichas como que, ¿será que la comprendí como debe ser o no? Porque es algo un poco confusa.
Okay, talking about your work in the TV miniseries Future Sexm, I will expect if I understand the question of John. He wants to know how we can, comprehend the way that the story is told, because it's a very tricky, well, from him, it's a very tricky script, and it can be interpreted in many ways from the viewer. Mm-hmm. So, as an actress that participate in that TV series, what aspect can you tell us about working on him in the story? I don't know.
So this series was created for app called Black Pills, and basically it's similar to a Black Mirror stories, but these are a series of short films. And basically I was in one of in the first episode called Kobe. I think it's a one. And basically, it's a series of short stories happening in the future what happens there is different ways how people gonna love each other, or it's a love stories in the future. And so in some countries they adopted it, it's future love, some future sex, but it's basically love stories in the future, how people are going to be interacting literally. So I was in my episode, I am the owner of the brothel, basically a futuristic brothel. So it was very interesting. And it was also my first time shooting a sci-fi, because it's really sci-fi, like there are robots, there are androids, and so it's really, you should watch it. You should watch it. It's really great.
Yes, I should watch it. I will tell you this. One day, Jhon and myself, we are indie filmmakers, but we also indie actors in our country, Colombia. One of the first roles that I made, I was a really strange type of gigolo. But in the future, it was very funny because the movie, the women hire men, but not really to have sex with them, but like to admire him. Almost, oh no, that kind of, I had to watch Future Sexm because it's like dystopia, no? It's like a dystopia.
Yeah.
Wow. Ok, Jhon, esto dice que la mejor manera de interpretar esta serie de cortos, que sabes muy bien que es para una app que se llama Black Pills, es entender que lo que se está contando es historias distópicas de amor en el futuro. Listo, digamos que puede haber sexo involucrado, puede haber formas de interacciones, pero generalmente es amor, a lo Black Mirror. Katrina participó en uno de los primeros episodios.
En el primero, ¿no?
Kobe, y ella es básicamente la dueña de un burdel futurista. Dice que recomienda muchísimo esa serie porque bueno, primero tiene todos los elementos distópicos, ¿no? Robots, androides, pero sobre todo el hecho de contar cortas historias de amor en el futuro. Digamos que es un futuro no tan distante, ¿no? Yo le comenté de lo que yo había hecho en La Casa del Placer, donde yo interpreté, ¿te acuerdas? Interpreté a un gigoló, pero no es un gigoló como tal, sino una forma como esclavitud, ¿no? De una forma de sexo distópico. Entonces, nada, tengo que ver Future Sexm.
Esta es una pregunta que siempre me he planteado al ver Locked Out, ¿sí? Es una historia en la que la perspectiva de los directores, bueno, pongamos el ejemplo en Asia, realizan películas que tengan que ver con algún protagonista de americano, y allá en Estados Unidos un americano, ¿sí? Realiza un rol sobre alguien de Asia, y los papeles se invierten, pero voy a plantearlo desde el tema europeo. En Eslovaquia, las películas suelen ser un poco más, menos tensas a como se muestran en el mercado americano y en el asiático. Y la pregunta concreta es, ¿algún director en el que usted haya conocido le ha planteado alguna vez sobre una historia que tenga que ver referente a su país, que la puede representar tal y como es?
Okay, Katrina, presuming because it's a very long question. As an Slovakian actress and having working with different directors in all the world, there is one director that has approached to you to tell a story in the point of view of your country, or as an Slovakian woman, as an Slovakian actress, because you have worked in very different countries, telling stories from all these countries, from all these cultures. But I don't know, some director has told you, let's do a movie about your country, or about your culture, or about your way, the way that people from Slovakia see the world. I don't know.
Actually, yes. but so yes, I was approached to do like a one role from my point of view as a Slovak actress and a Slovak, woman. But the movie has not been made yet, so it's just something recent. So if it's gonna happen, I don't know. But yes, I did. I was asked, and I think it would be very interesting, and it would bring also a lot more diversity in terms of cinema, because the thing is, to be a Slovak woman out of Slovakia, it's impossible to create a story, because people don't even know that Slovakia exists, firstly. Secondly, people, when they usually write stories, they write about something they know and something that is familiar. And even though now the world is so globalized and multicultural, people still are a bit short-sighted in that term. And I think the cinema also should be more diverse. And like, for example, when I made my movie Daytime Nightmare now, that is going to come out this year, I was not thinking for a second of casting somebody from a certain country only for no reason. For me, I want to diversify. I believe when all these stories in the movies are created, they're all fictional, whether you want it or not, unless there has to be, period movies, and they have to be historically accurate, then it's all made up. So there's no reason why character cannot be changed, or man to female role can be changed, so it should not be so strict or rigid. It should be a lot more flexible, especially now in any country. Why your best friend cannot be from Slovakia? Why your girlfriend cannot be from Slovakia? Why it has to be just Mexican, or, you know what I mean? Like, it can be anything, because people from all around the world live abroad, and you just have to find a way to include them. You like their character, great. Like, the character can be certain way, fine, but it can be anybody, any color, any ethnicity, any accent, in my opinion.
Es más, ni siquiera en su acercamiento como directora en Daytime Nightmare, ella pensó, bueno, este rol va a ser para una persona en específico, de un país en específico. Ella ama esta diversidad, esto que se ha presentado en su carrera, porque bueno, principalmente cuando a alguien le preguntan sobre Eslovaquia, generalmente la gente ni siquiera sabe dónde está ubicada, o tiene, digamos, como estos detalles pues propios de esta cultura. Dice que este mundo pues, globalizado ha permitido que, bueno, ¿y por qué no tu pareja en la película puede ser mexicana o eslovaca? Porque este rol lo tiene que, digamos, como hacer el typecasting, ¿no? O sea, como que no tiene que interpretar a esta persona de este país, no. Está esta diversidad y ella defiende esto, y pues lo hemos visto en esta carrera, pues tan increíble, ¿no? Diferentes culturas y todo. Pero, cruza dedos, porque puede que se venga un proyecto desde el punto de vista
Bien.
de Eslovaquia.
Good. Muy bien.
Ok.
También, sí, hay una película que no me he podido ver, porque no la he podido encontrar en ningún lado, pero se ve muy interesante, que es Vampire Reborn. Y me gustaría saber sobre, bueno, en qué medios o algo la podemos ver, y también que nos cuente la experiencia sobre ese filme.
No, y estoy viendo que es del mismo director. Okay, Katrina, in the search from your movies, Jhon cannot find Vampire Reborn. Tell us where we can see that movie. Tell us about, I don't know, in there is some streaming service or...
Which one?
Vampire Reborn. Tell us about this movie.
Oh, that's the second Hmong movie.
Yes.
So basically, it's running on their TV channel in Hmong language. So it's not really on. They have a TV channel, Hmong channel. So it's on their channel. That's why it's not like it's on internet. So because it's I don't know. They have their own channel. So these two movies, Vampire Reborn and Last Assignment, those are the Hmong movies.
Tell us about this movie. What we can.
That's the urban legend. It's the urban legend in the Hmong language, and it's on their own channel, from what I understood.
Okay. But tell us about the the plot of Vampire Reborn. Tell us about.
It's it was something about, I can't even remember anymore. It's because I couldn't, obviously. I just know roughly what's the movie about because it's all in Hmong language. But it's this urban legend about the vampire, and I can't even remember anymore. It's just I remember my story. My part was that I was the policewoman and somehow involved in investigating disappearance. So I just know my part, but honestly, I haven't seen the movie because it's in one language, so I can't really tell you. But people really enjoy the story. That's what I know.
Ok. John, malas noticias. Esta película, al ser otra película Hmong, ellos tienen su propia televisión, Hmong TV, pero no es un servicio de streaming. Sí, no sufre. Y bueno, sobre la trama, al ser grabada 100% en la lengua Hmong, pues Katrina recuerda solo sus partes. Ella es una policía que está investigando una leyenda urbana sobre una serie de asesinatos vampíricos, podría ser, pero todo el momento es un misterio que esperamos se resuelva.
Le iba a hacer análisis sobre ello. No.
Katrina, John is sad because in his channel he got some videos from in which he review movies. And he wanna review that movie.
But the thing is, if I remember well, it's basically this. I don't know if I'm 100% sure about what I'm saying. That's why I rather not say because I don't want to be incorrect. But it's this urban legend that there is a mouse that no, it's a vampire that it's transformed into mouse. You know, like normally in the world, basically the vampires transform into bats, right? Yes. So in Hmong language, there is this legend that this vampires transform into mouse. That's all I know. But it's like real Hmong legend. And then this vampire is killing people, but I don't know for what reason. And I'm just investigating the series of events. So I couldn't obviously read the script because it's in Hmong language and they were not translating that part, only the parts that were involving me and the police and other police officers. But I know that it's something very, very dear to Hmong people, the whole story. So I don't want to mistell it. You know what I mean?
Ok, don't worry. Bueno, yo lo que recuerdo, porque pues entendiendo que el guión está completamente en lengua Hmong y las partes pues que están en inglés son las de ella, pero lo que recuerda, y aquí te van a dar más ganas de verla, es que en las leyendas Hmong generalmente los vampiros se transforman en murciélagos. No, acá se transforman en ratones. Y al parecer, pues este extraño ser ratón como que está causando las muertes. Es algo muy, muy propio de la cultura de ellos. Es como te decía Katrina antes, que ellos cuentan, son sus leyendas con acción. Entonces, pero malas noticias, amigo. Reseña más bien brutal.
Sí. Muy bien. Vamos a hablar sobre Hard Target 2. Y la verdad, esa experiencia fue maravillosa. Es un excelente filme de acción. Tiene todos los contrastes muy buenos. No sé si Andrés tenga esa pregunta, te la dejo.
No, hazla.
¿Qué fue lo más significativo que tuviste que interpretar en ese rol? Porque es un rol muy, muy difícil y lo cumpliste.
Ok, creo que también sí se valdrá también preguntarle sobre el protagonista. Ok, Katrina, now we're going to talk about a cult movie that is Hard Target 2. As you can know, here in Latin America, we love action movies. Of course, we know that this is a sequel, but what can you tell us about this experience, knowing that it's a very risky role? You can tell us if you want it. How was working with Scott Adkins? Scott Adkins is a very, very admired martial artist in Latin America. But tell us more about the experiences of doing this movie, knowing that it's a sequel of another cult movie, and this is got a very special twist or treatment, not comparing with the first one.
Mm-hmm. So basically, I think this was at that time, the first or the biggest role I had at that moment. So it was like stepping up for me in terms of my career, and basically. I was, I was very excited to work on Hard Target 2 alongside Scott Adkins. Amazing, like Scott was super professional. He's like extremely talented. Like, I would say he's literally next man down, right? And so it was amazing experience to shoot. And also many people don't know, but we shot 2 alternative endings. And I am at the end they chose the other ending, so there's more mellow, more. So the other alternative ending is with me, basically coming to the house and bringing the letter from my dead husband to him. So, but it was not at the end. It was not in the final cut, but it was as a bonus alternative ending on the DVD, so you can watch that alternative ending. And I think I posted it in my acting show reel, part of it that year. But so it's basically alternative ending with me instead of the actual one you see in the movie. And so that's a little thing that not many people know. And and then afterwards I had a chat and I said, like, with the director, I said, I want to do what you're doing. Like, it's amazing that you can like take so many roles on yourself and do so well. And so he kind of gave me a courage, like, just do it, and that was the time when I decided to actually make Daytime Nightmare. How do you say nightmare in Spanish? I forgot.
Pesadilla.
Pesadilla.
Pesadilla del día.
Pesadilla, Daytime Nightmare is literally means pesadilla
Del
durante el día, or
Yes.
pesadilla del día.
Yes, sí, Pesadilla del día.
Yeah, so
Oh.
basically, so there is this story I wanted to make. I wanted to recreate my own nightmares and and put them in a story. And basically, I just had this because I do dream a lot, but my dreams are basically nightmares. And I was like, why not use it and into my advantage and just recreate them in a real life? So that's why I wrote this story of Daytime Nightmare and then recreated all my nightmares and put them together into one story. And so basically, if it was not for Royal Reine, there would probably be no Daytime Nightmare, because he gave me that courage to actually do it, that encouragement that it's possible. And and then here I am, and the movie is going to come out this year.
And I had to tell you 2 things before I translate. If you feel nervous working with Scott, don't worry, I feel nervous interviewing you. So that's, and 2, I want to congratulate you. I was watching your Instagram page, and I see that as your debut of director, you get they name you with another young female directors, and I'm so blessed. I'm so happy because directing is giving the other step, and I love the way that finally the stories that women are telling are getting viewed, and I congratulate you for
Thank you.
for directing. And I want to ask you more about that movie, the Pesadilla del día.
Okay, we'll talk about it after, yeah.
Ok, John, bueno, ahorita si no vas a preguntarle sobre Pesadilla del día, yo sí, sobre Daytime Night, porque aquí nos contó un dato buenísimo. Bueno, como tú sabes muy bien, Hard Target 2 fue, se podría decir, como el primer gran rol, el primer gran salto de la carrera de Katrina, ¿no? Dice que, es que aquí vas a flipar, voy a ver si me acuerdo. Porque listo, sí, Scott es una persona muy profesional, sí, literalmente es el próximo Van Damme, eso se sabe, pero acá lo emocionante fue trabajar con el que se puede considerar el héroe o la persona que más inspiró a Katrina, que es Roel Reine. Bueno, Roel Reine, tú sabes que es un excelente director. Oh my God, Roel Reine. Oh, of course, Katrina. I love Wu Assassins. He's the director.
And I'm also in Wu Assasins as well, in the new movie.
Yes,
Just now we shot, yeah.
I the first bad word. I fucking love Wu Assassins. Oh my
And
god.
that we just so basically they shot the movie Wu Assassins now, like the
Blood
sequel
Saints.
to the series. So now it's called Fistful of Vengeance. So I had also it was kind of like a reunion also. So I was very lucky to work with Royal again, and so I have a part in that too.
Oh my god. I was watching the IMDb. Oh, okay. Breathe. Eh, Roald no solo dirige y escribe, sino él toma la cámara. O sea,
Wow.
es un director muy completo y esa inspiración, o sea, esa, digamos, como esa inspiración que tomó él fue lo que le llevó a Katrina a dirigir Pesadilla del Día, me gusta más en español, porque ella es una persona que todos los sueños que tiene son pesadillas, todos. Entonces decidió tomar esas historias y contarlas y unirlas en una sola. La estaba felicitando pues por el hecho de que yo vi en Instagram y fue reconocida como con otra serie de directoras que están comenzando, y aquí vas a flipar porque Hard Target tiene 2 finales. Está el final que tuviste, el final amoroso, pero aquí no hay spoiler, porque esto sale en el DVD. Ahí no cuál es el verdadero final. Katrina entrega la carta donde se habla del asesinato de su esposo.
Jet.
Yes. I'm telling the other end, and he loves the other end of the movie. Y pues, hay una que es lo que me sorprendió. Yo estaba viendo pues el IMDb de Roll Reine. Claro, es el director de Wu Assassins, pero se viene la película Fistful of Vengeance, pero no solo Katrina va a aparecer en Wu Assassins, sino va a aparecer en la película de Wu Assassins, Fistful of Vengeance.
Vamos
con la
a darle un
de
aplauso.
todo el casting. We are fans of Wu Assassins, so we are going to watch Fistful of Vengeance. Every time people ask me, oh, can you recommend me a Netflix series? Wu Assassins. Go ahead. Okay. Okay, John, ¿tienes una pregunta?
Pregúntale sobre...
Yes. Okay, Katrina. Finally, the question I wanted to make. As we are in a group of 3 indie filmmakers, tell us more about the process on doing Pesadilla del Día. And I don't know, will you continue this work? I'm so amazed because the Academy finally recognized another woman, Chloe Chow. I think and I feel that woman got a very, very, I don't know, different way to tell stories. And these stories need to be told, not just these stories from all these men in this industry. So tell us more about the experience as a director. If you're going to do more movies, please.
Yes, so basically that's basically my plan to transition slowly into directing as well. So I love acting and I will continue acting, but in the same time I want to start making my own stories as well. And Daytime Nightmare, Pesadilla del Día was my basically first step towards it. And I already wrote 2 more scripts, and basically I don't do really drama. I do horror, thriller, action, and that's the way I write. So I wrote one action horror called Realm, and which is story happening in afterlife, military mission in afterlife, and the other one is called at the moment 01, and it's the life-changing experience in a virtual reality. And again, it's psychological thriller / horror, and I like I like combination of horror, action, and bloody stuff, but not too much like visually, more like psychologically, like very uneasy and like uncomfortable stuff, things that you don't have to be so bloody as long as it's really uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Like makes it make you cringe and just makes you feel very uncomfortable. So I like these kind of stories and make it very realistic and human as possible. And so this is the two projects I'm working on right now that I would really like to produce. But let me tell you, it's not so easy. So the only way like I could make this Daytime Nightmare is because I did it all myself. Like in terms of I didn't have any investors, and to get finance the movie, it's really difficult unless you have a big team or work on it many years. And even so basically this movie was produced by me and Randy Kelsey, who also did music and some post-production on it, and also he has a role in the movie. And it took us almost 3 years. 3 years to make from the beginning to the end, and past, including the festival run. Okay, so 2.5 years, I would say, from production, pre-production, production, and post-production. And we took time because we did it as high quality as possible. And then past 6 months, we were doing festivals, and we won over, I think 16 awards. Like we went straight to independent film festivals. Like I didn't go to the big ones because I was realistic in my expectations about the level of movie. Like it was a low budget indie movie. So I went to independent film festivals, more regional, and horror ones for females. And anyway, so it did well. We won awards mostly for the sound, thanks to Randy, but also for acting, and got a lot of nominations. And I'm really happy that it was well received by festivals and that they recognize the work we put in the movie. And so now I can proudly announce we've got UK distribution from Evolutionary Films. And they're also our sales agent worldwide. So they're going to be selling it all around the world. So so we've got distribution. And for independent movie this level, it's almost impossible to get distribution. So I'm glad that our movie got distribution, which is really big step. And so we will be able to distribute it into every country in the world. So I'm really happy about that.
I spent to work this year as a curator of film festivals. I hope we can see the Pesadilla el Día, because I hope so. I hope so because it's very difficult to get to festivals, but as a curator of festivals, I can see so many jewels. I mean, amazing short films, amazing movies, and I hope I can watch it. Okay, I will translate. Bueno, John, se vienen dos proyectos, o sea, Katrina ama la actuación, pero ella está destinada ahorita a seguir su carrera como guionista y directora. Tienen dos proyectos, creo que uno se llama Ground, y es sobre, ella, el género que más ama es el thriller, esas películas que tienen no tanta sangre, pero sí como esas escenas aquí, allá se dice cringe, acá se diría como que te desajustan, ¿no? Como que, wow, ¿qué estoy viendo acá? Uno va a ser con un trasfondo militar y el otro va a ser con un trasfondo futurista, o sea que yo creo que quieres verlo. Sobre Daytime Nightmare, sobre Pesadilla del Día, tardó 3 años. Y pues bueno, uno de los actores es el que hace el sonido y la música es Randy Kelsey. Fue un trabajo muy duro, bueno, tú lo sabemos los dos como realizadores, porque ella hizo todo, absolutamente todo. Y eso llevó a que fuera más fácil de producir, pero pues ella dice, es una labor muy difícil, muy complicada el producir y el dirigir, más por la cuestión del dinero. Pero pues gracias a este cortometraje, bueno, ya se logró primero la distribución en Inglaterra, ha ganado muchísimos premios por sonido, pero también por actuación. Y lo bueno es que ya se viene en la cuestión donde pueda ser distribuida alrededor del mundo. Le dije a ella que espero como jurado de festivales poder verla. Okay, Katrina, as a final question, and continuing with your acting career, tell us about these projects that are coming, that are Wildtrack, the Bangkok Job, and also Decline. Jhon is asking you a favor, if you can, of course. He wants to, when Decline comes out, he wants to be part of that press team that can talk about this movie because he really loves the cast, the full cast of this project. So tell us about these three projects that are coming.
Okay. Actually, if you want, we probably forgot The Serpent as well, which is now on Netflix. The Serpent.
Okay, and The Serpent, tell us about this.
Yeah. So actually, The Serpent just came out. So it's a true story, and it was produced for BBC One and Netflix, and currently is #1 series in the world. So I have a role there as the wife of the investigator, the main actor. So it's amazing, to be part of the history, I would say. And The Decline, it was shot in UK. It's a psychological thriller horror, and it's a story of a serial killer. So it's something similar to a Brutal, but this one is more UK style. Like you can see like similar story, also very misunderstood serial killer. And I'm playing the main role, like the girlfriend of the serial killer. And it's really graphic. Like when you watch it, it's very real and graphic. And also they got distribution, so it will be, it will be available on streaming services, I believe. At the moment, it's in the festivals as well. Yeah, that's The Serpent. Serpiente, yes.
La Serpiente, wow.
Es una historia muy buena, la de Charlie Silrat.
Y Katrina está ahí.
Es muy bueno. Vanessa, sí, creo que hace.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the Decline, so it's the story of a serial killer, and it was just very graphic, but it's so different because it's so British, British style of serial killer. And the Bangkok Job, so it was shot in Thailand, and it's a story of like retired detectives or the killers for hire, but they're on.
Yes, bounty killer.
Yeah, but they're like retired, and it's kind of like it's almost like it's a comedy. It's a comedy and the story of two retired hitmans, and this is their last job. And so, so I had like a small juicy role there. So I really like the character I was playing there, and I wish I could play that kind of character again. And the Wildtrack, it's a story of I would say, I don't know how to say it. I'm playing a girlfriend of the main girl. She's a model from US, and she went to the world to find herself and experience the things in life. So it's like kind of like road movie, I would say, a little bit. Yeah.
Importante recordar la presencia de Katrina en La Serpiente, The Serpent, la serie más vista ahorita del mundo, y está en Netflix, Colombia. Bien, la voy a ver. Esto, The Decline es una historia muy gráfica, es muy gráfica sobre un asesino en serie, pero dice que a pesar de lo gráfica que es, de lo fuerte, tiene un punto de vista muy interesante. O sea, si no me equivoco, ella interpreta, creo que una de las personas, de las parejas del asesino, pero dice que es muy gráfica. Se podría decir que es la historia más gráfica que ella actuaba. Bueno, tenemos desde Bangkok Job, que vas a flipar. 2 asesinos a sueldo retirados deben enfrentarse en su último trabajo en Tailandia como una comedia. Dice que lo bueno de Decline también es que es una película muy británica. O sea, es un asesino, pero tiene todos estos elementos de los asesinos de Inglaterra. Tal vez eso lo hace más interesante. Y pues Wildtrack es una historia de viajes, es un viaje. Creo que ya sé de la pareja ahí del protagonista, pero es de esas películas como de descubrimiento, de viaje. Es road movie, se podría decir. Y no sé, aprovechemos 5 minutos para agradecerle, para felicitarle para la foto.
No sé si pueda decirle si una línea que de pronto, o una frase que le guste de las películas que haya participado, que nos la regale. que será algo impactante
Okay.
para nosotros.
We are running out of time, but please, Katrina, just for finish this, if you can tell us or have a line of one of your movies that you really love, please.
You mean from my movies?
Yes, or yes.
So I think that's something that stayed on my mind. I would say two things. So one is, I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. I was yelling over and over, I'm not crazy. And second one is, I have nightmares, but they are different. They feel so real.
Ooh.
Muchas gracias por estar con nosotros. No, yo me quedé un poco anonadado. Muchas gracias, Katrina, por esta oportunidad. Y la foto para terminar. Y yes,
Thank
listo.
you. Gracias.
Gracias, Katrina, por esta oportunidad. Espero lo hayas disfrutado. Y
Thank you. Yeah, I enjoyed very much. Thank you.
Okay.
gracias,
I
muchos
hope you
éxitos.
enjoyed it, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Saludos desde Colombia.
Bye. Saludos.
Chao,
Have a great
gracias.
day. Bye.
Bye.
Ya saben, en la Sunpuliche Interview con Jhon Jatenjor los invita a suscribirse, darle me gusta, compartir y disfruten de estas grandes entrevistas inéditas a las grandes celebridades del séptimo arte a través de las traducciones simultáneas del inglés al español y del español al inglés y muchas curiosidades más.